You ever get that feeling, like the walls are closing in? Like you shouldn't be somewhere, but it's too late to leave? Madeline was stuck. The train wouldn't stop. The people around her, they weren't moving right. And when she finally tried to escape, the doors wouldn't open. And the train just kept going. Chapter 2: No Way Out. Madeline spun around, her body moving before her mind could catch up. Nothing. Just the empty station, the flickering overhead lights, the hollow silence pressing in on her from all sides. Her chest heaved. She wasn't alone. She could feel it, an unnatural presence, lurking just beyond the edges of her vision. The whisper had been real. It had slithered into her ear like a breath from something too close. A shiver crawled up her spine. She needed to leave. Now. Turning back toward the tracks, she searched for any sign of a train, or anything that could take her away from this place. But the tunnel remained black, an endless throat swallowing all light. Her phone was still dead, and the emergency call button on the wall had been ripped out. Wires dangled from the metal plate, sparking feebly as if mocking her helplessness. Her stomach twisted into knots. There had to be another exit. She turned toward the far end of the station, where a second tunnel led toward another platform. Maybe, just maybe, she could find a way out there. Her shoes clacked against the tiles as she walked, the sound too loud in the silence. It was as if the walls were swallowing every noise, muting the world around her. Each step echoed back at her a half-second later, delayed, warped. Like something was following her, mimicking her movements. She didn't dare look back. The corridor leading to the next platform was longer than she remembered. Much longer. The overhead lights buzzed erratically, and the advertisements along the walls were wrong. Madeline slowed her steps, her breath catching in her throat. A poster that should have been for a perfume ad now featured a woman's face. No, not a face. A mouth. A grotesque, stretched grin filled the entire ad space, gaping open as if screaming, but there was no sound. Just the silent, yawning void of its too wide mouth. Her hands trembled. The ad next to it was worse. It was her. Madeline's own face stared back at her in the glass frame. Her eyes, hollow and black. Her mouth twisted into the same inhuman grin. And then, it blinked. The air was sucked from her lungs. She stumbled back, slamming into the opposite wall. The lights flickered, once, twice, and then went out. Total darkness. Then, shuffling footsteps. Not hers. Coming closer. Then the whisper, right against her ear.
You shouldn't have fallen asleep.
A hand, ice-cold and bony, gripped her wrist. Madeline screamed.